New at 6 tonight, some closure for one Central Ohio family. 8 decades after a man from London, Ohio was killed during World War II, the military announced his remains were positively identified.
The discovery was remarkable for several reasons, one of which how the military painstakingly worked to find living family members whose DNA was needed to make identification. For the first time, relatives are now sharing their story about this revelation.
10 TV's Kevin Landers has the story.
At the corner of South Walnut Street and East 1st Street in London sits a tarnished plaque with 35 names. They are the names of soldiers who never came home from the war. Among them, James Marrah.
This is the man I was named after.
James Swire's uncle enlisted to fight the Germans in World War II.
That's what he wanted to do his whole life, was fly.
Marrah was the co-pilot in a B-24 Liberator.
He wasn't even supposed to fly that day. Someone had gotten sick or something, and he took their place.
Marrah and his crew were in the back of a large flying formation. The mission was called Operation Tidal Wave.
And they were trying to bomb at 200 feet when those planes were made to bomb at 2,000 feet.
The low altitude ensured they wouldn't miss their targets, but it also made the plane an easy target for German gunners on the ground. On August 1st, 1943, Marrah's plane headed to the Romanian city of Ploiești, known as Hitler's gas station. The bombs dropped, they hit their targets, and the plane took heavy fire.
They had a lot of confidence, and they believed that their mission was so important they had to do it.
Marrah's B-24 crashed and burned into flames. 53 other aircraft were down during that mission, making it one of the deadliest air raids of the war for the U.S. Out of a crew of 10, there were only 3 survivors.
It was on fire when it crashed, and they found the bodies under the plane. So I thought there was no way they could ever identify them anyway.
For years, the family says the government told them that James Marrah was missing in action. They say his mother wrote constantly to Ohio lawmakers and the government to find her son and bring his remains home.
At times, I even asked her, I said, "Why, Grandma? You know that he is dead. You know, why are you keeping up hope?" He said, "Because he may walk in the door tomorrow."
81 years after the crash, Swires got an unexpected call from the Defense Department. The voice on the other end said,
"We have found your uncle. We've got his remains."
The remains were originally buried as unknown in Romania and later in a Belgian cemetery. Using DNA samples taken from jaw and leg bones, the military compared them to living relatives.
It's just been so many years that I thought you couldn't even identify DNA at that point.
79 years after the London high school class of 1945 erected this plaque, the final chapter of James Marrah's life is about to be told. The military posthumously awarded the family his Purple Heart and Distinguished Flying Cross.
July 31st, 1943, told us what our targets are for tomorrow. Oil wells in Romania.
And there are letters from home.
This is, I believe, the last letter that was sent to him.
The family is just now discovering more about his life from letters Marrah's mother saved. Marrah was 22 years old and recently married when his plane went down.
I'm just sorry that none of his siblings or my grandmother is not alive today to see it, because they all worked for years to try to find out for sure if he was dead and where the remains were.
Now that they know, the hope is that other military families will get the calls so they can say their final goodbyes.
Never give up hope.
Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
The last survivor on board Marrah's B-24 died in 2019.
And the family says Marrah's remains will arrive 2 weeks before his funeral, which is scheduled for Memorial Day weekend. So finally some closure for the family and, you know, something they've been waiting a long, long time for. Good story.